Call the meeting to order.
Jenkins,
Here.
Harden,
Here.
Hahn,
Here.
McKinley,
Here.
Pearl.
Here.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next thing that we have on our agenda are public comments, and Michelle Meyer, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, I have more of a problem than a public comment.
Okay.
Do you want me to stand up or
Whatever's more comfortable for you.
2 years ago when I purchased a mobile home, and at that time it was owned by Steve Megenheimer.
Okay.
I came up to have the utilities put on in my name, and I was informed that the bill that was previously there had to be paid first before they would do that, because it was told that it stays with the property, because I thought that I could just move the trailer down, and I couldn't, which I hadn't planned on doing anyway. Anyway, I was refurbishing it, and so I didn't have to have the power turned on right away. So after a couple of months, I finally agreed with Steve Megenheimer to pay the previous occupant's bill off. He paid half of it, and I paid the other half of it. It was a total of $642.10. And I paid, like I said, I paid half, and he paid the other half. And that bill, I asked at the time why the city didn't send it on to collections to get the money from the previous occupant, and they said they didn't do that. I'm concerned that that's something that they should have done. I don't know if there's an ordinance that you can put or in effect where you actually do chase after people that have utility bills that are in back arrears, so that people like me don't get stuck paying for them. Then in March of this year, I purchased another mobile home across the street, and the old one was torn down and destroyed. But my utility bill was still over there and had been disconnected before I moved. Okay, so I know I owe that bill, but there's nothing in any of the city ordinances that I could find that said that the city was able to attach that old bill to my current bill and my current address. I do intend to pay it, but the previous, like I said, the previous occupant that had that $600 bill, it was on the books for 2 years. This has only been on the books for me for 4 months, and yet I get slammed with it. I want to know if there's something the mayor and the city council can do to help me with that.
Okay. Let me see if I get this. Now, your previous problem was 2 years ago?
Right.
Okay, 2 years ago you purchased a plate, or you didn't purchase, but you began. Yeah, you purchased the plate. You purchased the mobile home, and there was a bill for about $600, and then after about 4 months,
someone else's name.
Someone else's name. After about 4 months, you and Steve split that, so you paid that. Now you have purchased another mobile home, and
I've been keeping my bills paid and everything,
Okay.
and then all of a sudden, the old bill from the other address got tacked onto mine.
Okay.
Granted, they're both in my name,
Okay.
but I don't feel it's fair that I have got tacked 4 months. And it was attached to my new bill after only 4 months of being discontinued.
Okay.
When the previous owner or previous occupant had 2 years, and he still never paid it. I ended up paying it.
What are you wanting us to just?
I don't know what you can do, if you can discuss it amongst yourselves to find out. My power bill is going to get disconnected now on the 30th because of this attachment.
All right.
Okay?
And you're unable at this time to pay for
No.
She just wants to find out, I think, about the bills traveling. I agree with her on the first one, that it should, she should not have to pay it.
It should have gone to collection to the
That
owner.
has nothing to do with her. She didn't incur the bill. That was incurred by somebody else. That's between us, that tenant, and that landlord. Now, there's a Freedom of Information Act where that landlord cannot find out probably what's going on up here, which I don't like either. I think that sucks. But because I've been in a property situation, and I know how this all goes up here with this whole deal about collection of these bills and how we should have turned them off, whatever, disconnect it, and let it go. And if the landlord,
But I was told that you didn't go after them. You didn't
well,
send them to credit.
we do in a sense. We should. I'm not quite sure. Not being here and understanding the whole thing, but from 2 years ago, but from the past, you didn't pay a bill. You know, your electrical bill, you got disconnected. Now, we don't shut off water, which we probably should think about doing that in the future too. But
That's not true. You do shut off water.
do we shut off water?
Yes, you do.
I'm surprised.
The whole bill.
But it's been a while since I've been up here, so before this last time. But anyway, I do not agree. I agree with her the fact that she should not be responsible for that bill. That's
The first one 2 years
The first
ago.
one. That has nothing to do with her.
Just help refresh my memory, because with Mr. Kraft, I thought we,
Well, Sandy's got a little input into this, or not necessarily input, but she works on the billing side, so I don't know if there's any more information that she could shed, because I'm not familiar with what really happened 2 years ago.
on the 2 years ago thing, before we even moved to the current problem though, we had, maybe this was not done out here in public and it was done in the back, but I thought we were trying to move towards not going after whoever was purchasing the place. Am I wrong on
Not
that?
having the bill attached to the new owner.
To the new owner. Did we move forward on that at all?
We had that problem.
We had this issue.
Yes,
Well,
a year and a half
come up
ago.
since.
Okay.
Yeah, she's talking.
Year and a
It
half.
has not come up since.
Wasn't quite that long ago, but
Yeah.
I'm
I
still,
agree with Mr. McKinley, and that is something that we want to see that stop.
We are looking into collections.
Okay.
And if her bill was 4 months old, she would have been disconnected, so.
This was the original owner, and his previous address was on the.
This is
trailer
the one that you
15.
did 2 years ago, 2 years ago.
Right, this is the one I paid 2 years ago. His previous address, I guess, was with his parents on at trailer 15. But
Okay.
the bill came up as Dennis Boyce, not Dennis Boyce Jr. But when I went to get it turned onto my name, they said it was under Dennis Boyce Jr., and they didn't have a forwarding address for him.
Okay.
That's why.
Well, we have been working on that problem. That is an issue that I think that we are all in agreement on. We don't want the new owner getting hit with old bills, because it's just not fair. I totally agree. Now, this next
So
problem,
can
though,
that
you owe-
amount be applied, since I paid it
I
already?
don't know
can-
about that. I don't know about that. What I'm probably going to recommend is that, I don't know, this Friday, when's shut off?
The 30th. Monday,
All right.
30th. That's Monday.
And you said you cannot pay?
No, not the 400 that I owe as a disconnect on that
Are you able
trailer.
to pay your regular power bill?
Yes.
Have you used your 2 agreements?
No. I don't want to either. If we can get it settled here as to where the money that I previously paid for something that wasn't even mine in my name, hopefully can be put onto my new bill.
Okay.
That's what I'd
Pay-
like to
Pay your
have.
power bill that you, not the back pay, okay? Make sure that your power bill is paid tomorrow, okay?
Well, I can pay it by next.
Well, whatever it is,
Okay.
buy that shut-off date, make sure that
Okay.
power bill is taken care of. The back pay, now you owe that, you agree that you owe
Yes,
that?
I do agree. I
Um,
live there and
Okay,
yes.
now you're gonna have to take care of that, but,
I actually had a dispute on that when, when I got the bill. It was a $400 power bill for.
why don't we set up a time this Friday at 3? Can you do Friday at 3? This Friday at 3 o'clock in the city managers, are you free this Friday at 3?
I'll try to.
Okay, 3 o'clock here.
Okay.
If you'll meet with us, now you'll take care of your regular power bill, and we'll discuss how to
Yeah,
get you current with it. Because if you owe it, I mean, I
And my
can't.
current power bill is 203 on a disconnect.
Okay.
And then they added this month's to that, plus the $400. So it came up to $820.
Okay. Pay what you currently owe to keep it on, but any of this, the other, you're going to have to take care of that. You're going to have to take care of that. We're going to have to enter into an agreement, and we'll sit down and see if we can't get that taken care of.
Friday at 3 o'clock?
At 3 o'clock,
Okay.
Friday. And we'll meet here.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Oh. Put that paper back in.
Oh, yes, sorry about that. The next person on our agenda is Mr. Otto. Sir, you have the floor.
Yeah, I'm Justin Otto, Vice President of the Blue Ridge School Board. And I guess I'm just up here. You all should have received a letter from Susan, I think this last week, to talk about TIF 1 and the extension of TIF 1 for a year. We met with Mayor Jenkins and Josh and Larry last week with Susan and Bart to kind of just talk about how that came about and how it's affecting, I guess, the school district, and to see if there's any kind of a resolution we could come about so we wouldn't have to raise taxes to cover our bond issuance of the Health Life Savings expenses that we had this summer at the school. I know that we got some emails today that might have come across some hurdles. I don't know if you guys have any questions as far as from the school district's point of view. I guess what led to, Health Life Savings is a process that the state does, and then when there's things that have to be fixed, there's ratings, and if they're mandatory to be fixed, you have to be fixed. And the school looked at it from the standpoint that with the TIF expiring, that approximately $200,000 that came out of the budget every year to go into the TIF district would cover the bond issuance. So we wouldn't have to raise taxes for anybody. It would be money that hadn't been coming necessarily into the school district that would start coming in that would cover the bond issuance. Pretty much almost dollar for dollar, very close depending on the values of properties and such. But and then with the extension of it, obviously that put us $200,000 approximately, where we're going to have to recover that. So the only option where we stand now is in our November meeting, we've got to pass the new budget and propose a new budget in December and approve it. And we're going to have to, raise taxes district-wide to cover that Health Life Savings bond. And last week meeting, wondering if there was a way to issue TIF, either a refund or a partial refund, or what our options were, I guess, is what we were really looking into. Obviously, the city has with the TIF district set up the way they have the right to do the extension, the 1-year extension. And we were just trying to see if there was a way without raising taxes that we could work together to come up with some kind of an agreement, I guess. Now, understanding from today, and you guys obviously know more about the conversations today, there might be some legal issues with the reissuing TIF funds back to the school district from which it was originated. But you guys can speak on that if you like to have any questions.
I will definitely be speaking on that when that comes up in new business. I would invite you to stay on that. Just one quick question. The $200,000, our legal did ask the question today. How did you come up with that number, $200,000?
The school
Our
district,
lawyer.
the bond
Our
payments,
lawyer always
that's
said-
just what the share of the bond payments would be for this year.
Okay. That's
Off what the total cost was and the payback on those,
okay.
our payments this year would be close to, $200,000.
Okay.
I think you're asking how did the school come up with $200,000 for what they would be owed from the TIF?
Yes. That was our lawyer's question.
Okay, those are numbers that were given to me. I haven't seen
Okay.
the exact dollar amounts from the TIF district. It comes out of school to TIF.
That was the only question the lawyer that I saw raised, correct, was how did they come up with that number?
That was one of the concerns. Yeah.
Okay, those, I will, when this comes up, after ordinance 928 is seconded, I will discuss, the hurdle that we have, that is, before us. I'm also going to recommend, that this gets voted down, not just because it's an improper ordinance, if you will. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to explore from here. But I'll speak more on that during that. And I will, if there are any questions at that time, feel free to ask away. So anything else, sir?
Yeah, I had Mrs. Wilson run an estimate based off last year's tax bill, just to see what the taxes would be increased. And this is obviously an estimate off of last year's numbers. We're talking about 15 cents, which, there again, it's an estimate. So you're talking $45 worth of, for a $100,000 house is the estimates that they gave me. But again, that was put together this afternoon, so.
So we're looking at about $45. No, that would
For a $100,000.
For a $100,000 house. Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Is the life safety is an uncapped levy? I would assume, the way you're talking.
Well, I don't know if it's the total of uncapped. The work that was done, I don't know the percentage of it that hadn't been done recently. I know there was, like I said, there's different layers. Some have to be done within the initial year, and some are a 2 to 3 year plan, depending on the severity of the issues as far as for that. And we decided at the time, based off the information we had, that we wanted to get certain things done to Schneider. It was for Schneider grade school here in town. And based off that plan, it's kind of like any construction site. When you've got the walls opened up, it makes sense that you can go ahead and do it all rather than reopening walls in 2 to 3 years when they're already open now, just to go ahead and get it done. And we met with Mayor Jenkins and Mr. Wooling in February and talked about this issue, because you were exploring renewal of TIF 1, correct, or the option of it. And at that time, we expressed the same situation and our reasoning for not being fully on board with the TIF. Obviously, we need Farmers City to grow as much as anybody for our, that's how we're funded too. And just as well as the city wants the school district to do well, so it helps in return also. And at that time, it was conveyed that it was probably going to let the TIF 1 expire and then look into a new TIF, but probably a smaller TIF. And that's why we kind of went ahead with the plan as we did, because we were expecting TIF 1 to expire. I don't know that would have, certain amount of that we had to do no matter what. It doesn't matter if the TIF was there or not. We have to keep our school open, we have to, do what they tell us that has to be done.
Well, that's gonna be my next question, I'm only expecting on the spot,
Yeah,
but automatically, when we wasn't gonna have, this $200,000, boom, we got a tax. Have we looked at the budget, see what else we could be doing to start cutting it back? Or was they just on lucky assuming we gotta do this?
well, everything that we're doing is, as much as possible, is getting cut. Obviously, we can cut a lot more. We can cut all the academics, all the extracurriculars, and obviously cut more. Blue Ridge isn't that financial shape to do that. We don't have to, there's school districts around the state and the country that have to do that. We don't have to do that. We don't want to do that. I don't think anybody in this room wants that to happen. Mayor Jenkins said at the meeting back in February, nobody, and he put it on his blog too after that meeting, nobody wants higher taxes than what we've got. And obviously this isn't a forever situation. I believe it's a 10-year bond issuance, but 10 years from now there's going to be another Health Life Savings, and they'll have to update things in, just like any other building. It's going to have issues. Things are going to start to come. So I don't think that we're, if anything, we're trying to eliminate potential risk, from exposure of liabilities. So I don't know that we can cut a lot more than we're already cutting and still have a good quality school district.
Anyone else? Questions? Mr. Otto, we appreciate your time. Thank you, sir. This will move us to section 1.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Call it.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
motion carried.
With there being no unfinished business, this will move us to section 3, new business.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2013-26, placing on file the 2012-2013 audit.
Discussion.
Where's the already turned on? Is there did they make up a book? We got what's in the pack of it, is there any more, is there any more than that, what we get in the,
We did it this way to save money,
okay?
instead of paying extra to have it,
Is there anything that's questionable?
there weren't any,
Does the mayor get a special copy of what we get?
there's, do what?
Doesn't, okay, he doesn't get one.
Okay.
The situation's a whole lot different than what it is right now. Yeah, there's a reason why the mayor got a special copy.
There were no red flags, if that's what you'd like to know from the audit.
Any other discussion? Call it.
Harden,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
motion carried.
I'd like to make a resolution to accept 2013-27, authorizing $1,000 grant to the Farmer City Chamber of Commerce for the annual Christmas parade.
Second.
Discussion.
This is the same thing every year, hotel, motel.
Call it.
Vaughn,
Abstain?
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
motion carried.
I'd like to make a, sorry. Motion to approve resolution 2013-28, accepting bid for the West Street Warehouse Roofing Project submitted by King Lauer Roofing Incorporated, Decatur, Illinois.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
I'm sorry, I put on here, it's gonna be a shingle roof.
On that metal building?
Yep, that is what the recommendation is. Spray foam was considerably higher. There was 2 bids put in to shingle that. They believe that the shingle roof with a, Sandy, was that 30-year warranty?
Yes.
30-year warranty on the shingle roof.
Were those 2 bids put in by King Lar Roofing?
There were 2 bids submitted, a spray foam roof by King Lar, a shingle roof by King Lar, and then there was a bid that came in too late, could not be properly accepted.
Were there any other bids put
No,
in?
ma'am?
Is that something we should look into to see if we can get a cheaper price from another roofing company?
I don't know how many packets went out, at least a dozen.
Any other comments or discussion from the council?
And I will say the bid that could not be accepted because it was too late was $37,000 total.
But you're saying they're better off putting a shingle roof on?
Yes,
We're gonna take off the metal and put down wood.
I'm not exactly sure of the process, Willard.
You said 30-year warranty.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Call it.
McKinley,
Yeah.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
motion carried.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2013-29, accepting bid for 1988 dump truck authorized as surplus property.
Second.
Discussion?
We just did this morning at 11 a.m. There were only two that were submitted. One was for $200 and the second one was for $850. One's a local bid and one is someone from the Danville area. You can either accept it or you can attempt to sell it on eBay or...
I bid.
Is
State
this
of Illinois
without
has
plow?
I bid.
This with or without the
Yeah.
plow?
without.
Is there an estimated value? I mean, is this well under?
I can't tell you what it's worth. It's wore out.
Is it?
It wouldn't pass the safety lane, that's why we opted to.
Okay.
We table that.
So where are we getting the scrap for?
You're getting 850 for it from one bid and 200 from another, if I have that right? Without it passing any of the, legal laws, I don't think that.
Ma'am, public comments are in the very beginning, unless the city council addresses you. If the discussion is at the table.
Oh, so you have the discussion?
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Okay. I was confused.
I don't know if I would table it, you would just vote it down. I mean, then it would have to go up, but again, it's our local, the local
You seen the truck?
got the bid.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
What's your thoughts? I haven't seen it.
Bet you can get more?
Well, from what I heard today, I don't know if we can get more or not with leaving what was on.
You mean with the plow?
Yeah. I don't know.
So plow
That's my
stay
thought.
with it?
Yeah.
It does stay with it.
No, the plow's gonna be stepping off of it, but the plow will
Are
not
we
work
using the
on
plow
the
in
new
the new
one.
truck? Are we using the plow in the new truck?
Well, there's some discussion about whether that plow will fit on that truck. It's supposed to be the largest size plow that will fit on that truck, but a guy came today and said that Ford doesn't want that plow mounted on that truck, so.
I'm just thinking it could be worth more money.
So you're suggesting putting the plow back on the truck,
Right.
taking it out for bid again?
I would, if you want to do that, then I would sell it on the internet. Doesn't cost to sell it on the internet.
We have to pay commission, don't we?
Depending on where you sell it. There's some sites out there.
I heard I bid out there. I'm not sure. Do they have a percentage?
I don't believe they charge the cities anything.
Okay.
I can give you that.
I've got the iBid website up there
Yeah.
before.
If you want it to go back out for bid, then you should probably vote no. Okay? All right, and if you are fine with this amount, and it would be sold to someone locally, then you would vote yes, so call it.
Pearl,
No.
Jenkins,
No.
Harden,
No.
Hahn, McKinley.
No.
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 927, amending chapter 110-16 alcoholic liquors of the Code of Ordinances.
I'll second it.
Going to bring this up for discussion, but before anyone says anything, I'm going to recommend that this be tabled at this time. Larry and I did meet with one of the bar owners, and the second bar owner could not make it at this time. We have scheduled, we spoke with the American Legion this morning. We are going to set up another meeting with all three of them to see if we can't come to some sort of consensus on several problems and issues that have been brought up. Additionally, we're going to be continuing the discussion that Mr. McKinley brought up several weeks ago. So I'm recommending that we table it for now and then bring it back to the council after we've met with everybody. So, my recommendation. But is there any other discussion? Entertain a motion to table it.
So moved.
Call it.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
motion carried.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 928, authorizing an expenditure of $200,000 to the Blue Ridge School District from TIF 1.
Second.
Discussion. Let me also address this. I'll share you a portion of the email that we received from our lawyer today. Actually, I'll do several. First and foremost, you cannot, this was the response from our lawyer, you cannot rebate exclusively to the school district. Period. But the city council can declare a surplus by an ordinance or resolution and rebate a proportionate amount to all taxing districts in proportion to the percentage of their tax rate as compared to the total tax rate of the TIF district. And there were some questions brought up. So, and we found this out. It's not at the end of TIF, but at any given time that this city council can declare a portion of the money in TIF surplus. The moment that we declare it surplus, everyone who is a taxing body that contributes by not receiving that portion of the tax will get their percentage back. So it would not be just to the school district. It would also be to Parkland College and the fire department, etc. So because of that and the Freedom of Information Act, this ordinance did not spell that out. So number 6, and we got this information today. We sent from it earlier on, but our lawyer was in, ironically enough, TIF conference. We just received this information today. So if you wanted to put something like that on the agenda, you would need the 48 hours. So it would have to be done at a different date. And of course, this also raises a whole bunch of other, can of worms, is how much do you declare? And we'd have to figure out the percentages, etc. I can say off the top of my head right now we have $300,000 in TIF 1, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So you would almost have to declare, well, all of it surplus for the percentage that the school is asking for. Of course, you got other funds coming in throughout. We have projects on the docket. We know that we have projects on the docket. I don't know where Larry stands. He was in the conversation with him today, and we have a really good chance of bringing in a pharmacy. It's going to take TIP dollars. We have other projects that we know that are coming up, so declaring all of it surplus would probably be detrimental to TIF. It would basically close it down. So I'm recommending that we vote no on this right now because there's really nothing that we can go forward at this time, and then begin discussing how we move forward from here if we are going to move forward. So, any questions?
One comment I'll say is that I feel we're being looked at as the bad guy here, and there's a lot of that because a lot of people just don't understand TIF, and they make it look like it's a horrible monster, but it's a very effective tool for a community to use to do a lot of things. There's a lot of things that have been done with TIF, and I've used it myself. And if it wasn't there, there'd have been a building on a corner in this town that had been on its way out, because I did not have the money put into it, and I wasn't particularly safe, and there's a lot of others like that too that have been helped by them now, and some more that need to be helped if we can, so.
I know that we have one business right now that is going to request it around 100,000, of course, that's the request. And it is for a major, it's restoring a building that's falling apart. We have Subway. I mean, Emos was fixed. Again, I'm not saying that this, I agree with Mr. Otto, we need to do what we can to work with the school district. But as of today, this ordinance right here it's not legal anyway, so. Any other discussion or questions on this?
I would just say one thing. In the spirit of us attempting to work with them, when we left that meeting Tuesday night, I felt like that was the intent that we walked out with. And then we were blindsided by this article and everything else, slandering us and Facebook messages, things like that. I was incredibly disappointed by that. And I think that turned a good working relationship into an ugly one. So I would really encourage the school board to change their tone, and I'd like to see a different tact.
I can't,
Mr. Otto, please.
I can't speak for what people, I don't do Facebook because I feel that there's a lot of things that like this that happen. I think a lot of people can say what they want on Facebook with no recourse, and it happens against the school and against the city. Obviously, both of us, I mean, everybody can get on and voice an opinion, and there's no recourse from it. And we obviously can't say anything in response, and neither, you guys are in the same position we're in. I don't know that, I think we're all just put in a position financially trying to do the best we can with the very limited funds we've got, and the city's in the same situation the school district's in, trying to grow the community, but there's just not a ton of money there to do it. So yeah, I apologize if there was anything I did in that process. I can't necessarily control what other people do, obviously, and how they go about doing it. Because like I said, I mean, nothing that the school or the city did was wrong. The only thing, obviously, and we discussed it last week, is had we known, but there again, had we known, I don't know that either party could have done anything different, because you were trying to grow the city, and we're trying to grow the school district, so.
I appreciate your professionalism.
Not pointing fingers and all that, that was a real, in my opinion, and I voiced it to one of the others, there was a bullying that we got from the paper.
I don't control the paper.
I mean, that's what it was, the way I felt. We got a bullying from them.
Yeah, it made you angry to read it.
Yeah.
Because, it felt like we were the bad guy, we did something wrong, and we didn't do anything wrong.
And that's why I said, not pointing fingers, I'm just saying that we just.
I speak for myself. I want to do what we can with the school district, but also understand that, we have limited means to help the businesses out and tip one. So though we're voting this, though we vote this down right now, it doesn't mean that this exploration is over. As we move forward, I will make sure that you all are kept informed.
I appreciate
what's going on. So, any other discussion? Again, thank you, sir, for for coming and sharing tonight. Call it.
Harden?
No.
Hahn?
No.
Kinley?
No.
Pearl?
No.
Jenkins?
No. This moves us to section 4, other items, the city manager's report. City manager Andy's report.
I've only got a couple of things. I've got the guy signed up to take some training through the Illinois Rural Water Association. We've never belonged to that organization before, but we need to start getting them into some training process. Just recently, as of today, I did meet with the prospective owner of the pharmacy. She's going to come in and get a TIF application, get that completed. It was a very good meeting, a telephone conference with the CEO. of a fairly large-sized pharmacy distributorship. This morning, had an interested party come into town that would like to open up some type of a gun shop here in Farmer City, down on the business district. They'd like to be downtown. And I believe that the mayor had a secondary meeting with some people interested in opening a cafe here on the business district. I had an initial meeting with them a couple months ago, and they came back in and get some more information. Other than that, personnel issues, I sent a certified letter out on some personnel issues, and when the time is more appropriate, then I'll bring you up to speed on what's going on with that.
Any questions to the city manager and his report?
On the burning, leaf burning,
Yes, sir.
that's always been in effect, correct?
Yes.
You're talking about on the pavement, correct?
Side of the road, gutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you burn on the street, then, and if we see it or if we get a telephone complaint, then we're gonna knock on your door and issue you a notice to appear. We can't have our city streets torn up like they have been before. Plum Street is always heavy with leaves. There's several people that burn up and down there, and we just invested money there. We boiled and chipped so late this year that, people start burning out, they'll just absolutely ruin the streets. And it's not good on the concrete either.
What is the fine?
They can go up to $500.
You said minimum 52, 500, right?
That's
Minimum.
correct. They can go up to $500 for the first offense.
Secondly, you're talking about another restaurant coming in. Hearsay, but has anybody happened to talk to the Mexican restaurants in Mahomet and Champaign and Monticello?
You mean have we gone to them?
And we brought an idea to them, how for them to come to town.
Which particular?
I don't know, they're all the same, but Del Toro's and just a few other different names.
No, I mean, I haven't received them to come in. The person looking in the cafe is a local person.
Okay. I just, earshot, somebody told me that might be worth a phone call to go talk to them. So, not saying that's the
So
way
the
to go.
Monsanto plant, I guess they'd have a lot of customers.
So, I would get there.
5:30 to 7:30 is the trick or treating?
That's correct.
Okay. I'll post
I
that.
believe that we've submitted that to area media.
Okay. Any questions to the city manager's report? Moves us to non-agenda items and other business. Yes, sir.
I did it right along with Officer Ballard tonight, and I was impressed. I hadn't done a ride along with him in quite some time, and actually I'd never done one with him. It was really eye-opening. I was really impressed with his professionalism, and we tailed Mac for a little while. I'm just kidding. But that was coincidence. But no, it was a very eye-opening opportunity. I encourage all you guys to take the opportunity to ride with one of our officers. Just being with them for that long, he really appreciated having somebody's ear too. So it was really good.
You mean in the front seat rather than the back?
But yeah, you're usually in the back, don't you?
Can you see if you can't, it's 3 o'clock with this young lady. Can you see if we can't meet with all three of those bar owners at 3:30, depending on your schedule, but 3:30 the same day? That way we can be here.
I got a couple of things, just, I want
Yes, sir.
Larry to keep up on that. One of them is leveling that soccer field, find out when we can do that, keep up with that.
Marty asked me about that, and so I mean, Marty, it's all up to
Okay,
Marvin when he's gonna start.
okay.
Marty and I did talk about that up there at the school one day.
And then the other one
Actually, it
is,
was at homecoming parade, Matt, is when we talked about it.
okay. And the water to South Park, when we gonna get it hooked up, you know?
It's on their list, and they're supposed to do it before it gets cold weather.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow morning.
That's Wednesday, isn't it?
If it's it snows, it might be done.
Any other non-agenda items? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion. Second?
Harden,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yeah.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Meeting adjourned.